Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. It's Thursday, September 24th, coming to you live from our studio in Seoul. I'm Kim Mo-kyun. Before we get started, these are the stories we're following at the top of the hour. South Korea reported 125 new COVID-19 cases on Thursday, staying in triple digits for a second day. To help cope with economic losses, the government will start distributing relief funds from this year's fourth extra budget as early as today. Government sources say U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will likely make a two-day visit to South Korea to discuss diplomatic issues from October 7th. K-pop star BTS urged the world's young people to continue to chase their dreams and maintain hope in a video message to the 75th UN General Assembly. Now we start with the COVID-19 situation in South Korea. The country reported 125 new COVID-19 cases on Thursday, keeping its two-day rally in the triple digits. Of the newly confirmed cases, 110 were locally transmitted, with 39 from the capital, Seoul. 15 were from overseas, bringing the total number of cases to over 23,300. 5 more deaths have been reported, raising the death toll to 393. South Korea's ruling Democratic Party, the government, and the presidential office are calling for the swift execution of this year's fourth supplementary budget. They want everything tied up before Chuseok holidays, which starts next Wednesday. Prime Minister Jeju said Thursday that around 70% of more than $6.6 billion budget will be executed before the holidays. The three sides agreed to prioritize the distribution of financial support to those most affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. They include small business owners, the recently unemployed, and working parents that need to pay for childcare as school transition to online classes. The South Korean government will start giving out relief funds from this year's fourth extra budget as early as Thursday. Relief funds will be given out to certain freelancers starting today, and small business owners will be able to apply for the fund today and then get it as early as the next day. The government plans to make the payments before next week's Chuseok holidays to most of the people hit hardest by the COVID-19 pandemic. Our Ji-young reports.
The South Korean government will start distributing COVID-19 relief funds from the fourth supplementary budget this week.
The government will do its utmost to provide financial support before the Chuseok holiday to those hit hardest by the pandemic.
About $430 each will be given out starting Thursday to some 500,000 non-permanent workers and certain freelancers. The government plans to provide relief funds to about 2.41 million business owners before Chuseok on a first-come, first-served basis. Everyone else who is eligible and applies can get the money later. For small business owners who did not face quarantine restrictions, a lump sum of about $850 will be given to those who qualify. But those who had to shorten their operating hours will get around $1,290 regardless of their annual revenue. Those banned from operating entirely will be given about $1,720. Text messages are being sent to all eligible small business owners on Wednesday, and they'll be able to apply online starting Thursday through the website shown in the text message. The procedure requires only that they provide their business registration number, verify their identity, and enter their bank account number. Also, by next Tuesday, parents with young children will be provided with $170 per child under the age of 14. The government will also start giving out about $430 on Tuesday to vulnerable people with low incomes and to young people seeking work. Ji-young, Arirang News.
Chinese firm Sinovac Biotech is unveiling its COVID-19 vaccine candidate on Thursday to foreign press amid China's proposal to begin vaccinations as early as November. Sinovac is inviting major foreign media to present its progress on the development and production of the vaccine and openly promote its safety. This comes amid rising suspicions as no side effects have been seen during clinical trials, while pharmaceutical firms in other countries, including the U.S. and the UK, have reported adverse side effects. Sinovac's vaccine candidate, called CoronaVac, is being tested in Brazil and Indonesia in the final stage human trials to evaluate whether it is safe for mass use. Global labor income declined by 3.5 trillion US dollars during the first 3 quarters of 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The International Labor Organization says it's down 10.7% compared to the same period last year. It noted that a loss in working hours in many countries attributed to such a massive drop, adding that developing and emerging economies were hit the hardest, as many of those in informal employment no longer had work. The international body forecasts a 8.6% on-year drop in global working hour losses in the fourth quarter. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will reportedly visit South Korea in the coming weeks. Pompeo's trip, which will be his first to the country in 2 years, comes as the allies have a heap of issues to discuss, including defense cost sharing for American troops on the Korean peninsula. Our Lee Seung-jae has more.
According to government sources Wednesday, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will likely make a 2-day visit to South Korea starting October 7th. While Seoul and Washington are currently in talks to set up Pompeo's trip, it's expected his visit will include meetings with President Moon Jae-in and Foreign Minister Kang Kyung-hwa. A number of major issues will be discussed. They include the ongoing negotiations between Seoul and Washington on defense cost sharing for American troops stationed in South Korea, which will most likely be discussed during Pompeo's meeting with Kang. Also on the agenda could be North Korea's nuclear weapons development and a possible invitation of South Korea to the G7 summit, which has been postponed until after the U.S. presidential election in early November. Despite speculation Pompeo may hold a surprise meeting with North Korean officials during his stay, a source shot that down, saying Pompeo's visit is aimed more at wooing South Korea at a time of increasing U.S.-China tensions. It's widely expected Pompeo will explain Washington's stance on its conflicts with Beijing and ask for Seoul's support. Pompeo's trip to South Korea will be part of his trip to Japan, where he's expected to meet his counterparts from Australia, India, and Japan. Japan's Kyodo News Agency reported Wednesday that Pompeo is due to meet with Japan's new Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga while he's in Tokyo. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
China has been upping its military activities over the Taiwan Strait over a senior U.S. State Department's officials' visit to Taipei's last week. Taiwan is accusing China of threatening the peace, and Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen recently visited a military base in a show of determination. Our Kim Jae-hee with more.
Tensions in the Taiwan Strait are at their highest in years as China continues to ratchet up pressure on Taiwan. Chinese military aircraft have flown over the Taiwan Strait in the recent days. China also called a high-level U.S. State Department official's visit to the island last week a political provocation.
China has always firmly opposed official exchanges between the U.S. and Taiwan in any form.
In response to China's recent show of force, Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen on Tuesday visited a military base on one of Taiwan's outlying islands. Tsai praised the Air Force pilots for intercepting the Chinese jets that approached the island last week. She stressed that Taiwan has the ability and resolve to safeguard its territory.
I know that we're having to face the provocations of the People's Liberation Army's fighter jets surrounding Taiwan and their actions in disturbing the area's peace. Our National Army officers and soldiers are absolutely capable and determined to defend the country and safeguard regional peace.
Taiwan has also accused China of threatening peace and is urging other countries to join its condemnation of Chinese incursions into its air defense identification zone.
We call on the international community to face up to the fact that Chinese military planes continue to cross Taiwan Strait centerline.
But tensions are not likely to be resolved anytime soon, for the U.S. is likely to strengthen ties with Taiwan, and Taiwanese officials could also visit the U.S. Some analysts predict China may threaten an economic retaliation against Taiwan if Taiwan and the U.S. continue cooperation. Kim Jae-hee, Arirang News.
K-pop superstars BTS addressed the UN General Assembly on Wednesday with a special video message. The 7 members encouraged the world's young people not to lose hope during these trying times. Our Kim Hyo-sun has the story.
Our tomorrow may be dark, painful, difficult, and we might stumble or fall down. But the stars shine brightest when the night is darkest.
BTS urged the world's young people to continue to chase their dreams and maintain hope as they took to the stage at the 75th UN General Assembly via a video message. This was their second speech at the UN gathering following a speech they delivered at the launch ceremony of UNICEF's Generation Unlimited program at the 73rd General Assembly 2 years ago. The boy band explained how the pandemic led to the cancellation of their concerts, causing them to feel isolated. But they stressed the power of hope and vowed to continue making music.
We live in uncertain times. If our voices can give strength to people, then that's what we want, and that's what we'll keep on doing.
During the 6-minute video, they share their own stories about how they picked themselves up after feeling frustrated and depressed following the outbreak, with one member describing it as something beyond imagination. Highlighting that young people need to remember who they are, BTS also stressed that they need to face who they are. Vowing that as a group, BTS will be by their side, the members ended their speech with an upbeat chant.
Life goes on. Let's live on.
Kim Hyo-sun, Arirang News.
The spread of the Korean wave, also known as Hallyu, has picked up pace online amid the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the Korea Culture Center, New York, the monthly average number of web page visitors has increased to 30,000 this year from 10,000 during the previous year. From January to August, 500,000 people visited the website, which is a 4 times increase on year. The center opened a new section on their webpage in April where it features more Korean cultural content related to concerts, exhibitions, Korean food, and movies. Particularly, a special exhibition of Korean movies that aired from April to July has been watched by more than 25,000 people.
Good morning. The south and east coast and Jeju are having a rainy Thursday today. In Jeju and coastlines along Jeollanam-do province will see rain through the mid-afternoon. Meanwhile, parts of Gangwon-do province will see heavy rain picking up as the night approaches, with a preliminary rain advisory in place there. So have an umbrella handy. The rest of the country will see more cloud coverage today with crisp air along with good air quality nationwide, and top readings will be ranging from 23 to 25 degrees Celsius this afternoon. Eastern parts of Gangwon-do province will see on and off rain until Sunday, while the rest of the country can expect fairly sunny skies through Sunday. Now, looking ahead, the weather looks promising for this year's Chuseok holiday next week. Well, temperature readings will drop further, but most parts will be under bright skies throughout the holiday. That's Korea for you, and here's a look at the weather conditions around the world.
That's a wrap for us at the hour on Arirang News. I'll be back with more of the day's headlines at noon Korea time, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching and goodbye.